Welcome to yet another great episode of The Sage. Thank you for having been with us. Thank you for coming back, as we asked you to last week, to this very, very exciting issue we began to address last week. The issue of caring adequately for our teeming, aging population. As usual, I am your guide, Dr. Kechi Obuago, and sharing a treasure we discovered that agreed to be with us on the show, Dame May Ikokwu, who already started thrilling us last week. And indeed, to a certain extent, shocking us with her information, her revelations about the huge number of aging people in our country and their many, many problems which need to be resolved. May, thank you once again for being on The Sage.
Thank you.
And so we stopped last week while we were discussing about their problems. But tell us, to just discuss is not the answer. It is, what do we do to make things better? I know you've devoted the last few years passionately working in this area. Tell us about this work.
Thank you very much, Dr. Buago. Let me speak like a board member of the Coalition of Societies for the Rights of Older Persons in Nigeria, COSROPIN. COSROPIN was founded because of one of our NGOs, Graceful Aging Fellowship, had their 6th anniversary and got together so many NGOs and CSOs, working on older persons. And we reached a decision at that conference that working alone, no NGO can really achieve much with the government, because people were just going, this NGO goes to government, another NGO goes. We said, no, it is better that we speak with one voice. And so we formed this coalition to look after the issues of aging of the older persons, so that when we go to the government, we speak with one voice. They don't have to deal with 150 of us, So,
little messages.
Yes. And so we started first with respect. There was very little respect for older persons in the society. We started producing handbills on respect. Call your parents. Have you done this? Respect older persons, And we did that in collaboration with Ministry of National Orientation Agency. We sent out flyers. And we also discovered that Nigeria has no bill, no law protecting the older persons. And as long as there is no law, people do things and get away
with it. Yeah.
Even if they did something for you, it is out of favor. It is not as a right. It is not your right to have this or that. And so we started putting together a bill, a very strong bill, to address all the issues affecting older persons. Is it their pension? People are dying on the lines. Maybe some people retire 5 years later, they have not received any money for their pension. And even how much is the pension? Most times the pensions are unsustainable. They cannot sustain you. It is far, far too little. And how many people are pensionable? Only 6% of the population.
Wow.
Of the older persons are pensionable. What of the rest who worked in the private sector, the farmers, nobody takes care of them. So we had to look into all these things, even if they don't take care of you. The government, if you were not a government, there should be a safety net, maybe give you 5,000 or 10,000 every month, because you have made your contributions to the society. You have contributed, you raised children for the society.
Absolutely.
So the society owes you a return for all that you have done. 10,000 a month is not only for food. What of the drugs? You need a lot of supplements.
Because it is an inevitable part of aging.
It is an inevitable thing.
Your systems deteriorate, they age.
I know how much I spend on supplements every month, to sustain myself. It's even more than the much we are asking them to give maybe 5,000. Some states started giving. I know Ekiti State did. For a while, Anambra State did too. But more states ought to go in and subsidize the income, give something to their elderly. We started, we try to ensure that government hospitals have geriatric units, that we take care of older persons. And also in hospitals, we try to make the access easy for geriatrics, for the aged. They don't have to climb stairs and all whatnot. Wherever they are going to meet people, we'll be closer to them. Another thing too is that in the setting up of many government ministries, and there's also always something written about older persons, a sentence or so, 2 clauses in their in the way they were established that mentions senior citizens. But really nobody looks after the senior citizens. So one of our members, Dr. Mokara, ensured that such ministries, she started establishing aging desks in such ministries, so that there will be an officer that will be responsible for the needs of older persons. And since then, we have...
What are the examples of the ministries that have those provisions?
Women Affairs, I know have. I don't know whether, when their functions moved over to Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and Social Development, I don't know whether a desk was also established there. But the last time we had a meeting, I think the police, they said they will now establish their own desk too. But I know that quite a few have aging desks. Our coalition worked with the Ministry of Women Affairs to establish to work on the national policy on aging, which by the time it was being approved, that function had moved over to Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management. And that was where that policy was finally approved.
Okay, the policy is approved.
On aging, yes.
Okay.
On aging.
I mean, that is great. It's good to know that all these important elements are in the bill. We'll take a break. And when we come back, we will want to know how far are you with the bill and how do we all come together to ensure that it is actually implemented. Stay with us. We'll soon be back. Welcome once again to The Sage. Thank you for having been with us. In the last segment, May was telling us wonderfully hopeful things about the bill that is, I don't know whether it's passed or not, she will tell us, in which there are important elements that are at least perhaps for the first time beginning to recognize the needs of these old persons and to make it a bill and hopefully a law that people can be made to implement and well enforced. Please continue.
Yes, I was talking about things that are contained in the bills. One of them also is transportation. So we are hoping that there will be subsidy for people when they go on buses, government buses, airlines, if government has airlines, like it's done overseas. Overseas, once they see your age, you get a certain pass for those things. There are other things we looked at, like loneliness is the greatest killer of older persons. And so we wanted to have centers spread all over the country, senior citizen centers. And finally, at least, one has been established. The government has set up a national senior citizens center headed by one of our members too.
Where is that located?
It is in Abuja. I don't think they have a permanent office yet, but government has now approved a substantive grant for them so that a takeoff grant, So we hope that it will take off very soon. And
I don't think it's for people like you and I who can still manage our independence. We need to encourage the more helpless to go.
It's for everybody.
Okay.
It's for everybody. I need it too.
You sure?
Why not? Is it because I'm over 70, you know?
Yeah. So, yeah, many of us.
I'm
That's
over
welcome
70
to the club.
and the body. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. I say welcome to the club. And Kosropin was instrumental in seeing that center was being implemented, because it was approved in 2017, but nothing happened. When we had this new Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, a fantastic woman. She's young, but somehow she's very passionate about older persons. We brought to her notice the fact that this center has been approved, but has not taken off, you know. The board has not been set up, nothing set up. We told her, and she said, oh, she must ensure that it's implemented immediately. And within a short time, what you will say, twinkle of an eye, the center came into being. Okay. And we are very grateful. And in fact, she has been wonderful. During the pandemic, the COVID, they started providing palliatives for people. And Kosropi went to her and said, we need for older persons also. Some was brought up for older persons, their share in the palliatives allocated for Abuja. And we said, no, we cannot just have it like that, or have older persons go to the field and collect. No. Can you give us our own so that we will do door-to-door delivery of these palliatives? And she agreed and gave to us. And 100 we were given. And we took them door-to-door to older persons in Abuja. We took pictures and videos, which we sent back to the ministry to show that we did not take the things for ourselves. And lately, too, during Old People's Memorial Day, you know, every October 1, the world celebrates older persons. It's Older Persons Day. She also gave us...
What a coincidence. October 1?
Yeah, but in Nigeria, it's not really celebrated October 1 because of our independence anniversary. So we celebrate any other time in October. Mm-hmm. But this year, she also gave us some beds, wheelchairs, crutches. Before then, she did come to us and ask us, what are the needs of older persons? Because sometimes people take decisions for older persons without consulting them, without knowing their needs. But we were consulted, and they provided us some of these things, which we also took individually to the homes of the needy.
I'm very, very happy to hear this. Although I wonder, 100? How were you able? How did you do? Because there are thousands and thousands of old people. How do you pick 100 from there?
Yes, when we are given 100, then we go to our NGOs that are registered in Abuja, and we give, maybe this NGO, you take 6 and give to your members and take pictures. Let us make sure that those people got what they were supposed to get.
You know, because I, at least personally, let me take the blame. I'm a proverbial Oliver Twist. Can I congratulate you for what you got for the 100, but ask, please, next time lobby for even more? You know, 100 is barely a drop in the ocean.
100 is a drop in the ocean. Giving somebody something once is a drop too, because if you give him today, what about next week?
Next week,
does he not need next week?
Yeah.
Even the coalition, what we did was to stop this incidence of loneliness. We started doing credit top-up. So from our own purse, we were giving people 1,000 Naira credit card, so that the older persons can talk to their people, to their friends during the pandemic, during the lockdown.
That's a lovely idea.
I think it was. Yeah, people really
and which can, you
that.
know, be easily continued if you perhaps, if we have information about how viewers can also join in that. If there's a place they can send 1,000 Naira to, so that you spread it out to many old people, because the ability to talk on the phone is important.
It is very important.
Yeah.
It is very, very important. And those who don't have phones, you try to provide
the phones for them
once in a while.
I mean, this is great, but please tell us. So, where is the bill? Has it been passed?
Yeah, the bill.
Yeah.
Our bill was not the first old people's bill that came up, but most of the bills, as they come, before they get to the final reading, the House has changed. The government has changed, and that bill is knocked off. But our own, we even started before the last administration, and it lapsed. So we started again in earnest this time around, and it has passed 3 readings through the Senate.
Wow.
It has been. And these days, people are more conscious of old. People know that they are getting old. So they know that that bill is for them also. So it passed through the Senate very quickly. And it is now in the House of Rep. And we need everybody. Everybody. We are lobbying. Everybody who can help. Please talk to your House members. Let them approve this bill. Let it come out. Because it is not for the good of myself, or for the people who are fighting for it now. Because by the time it's being implemented, most of us may no longer be on the stage. It is actually for people who are in their 40s and 50s today. They will enjoy that bill.
So looking towards the future, given the pace you're going, what is your hope and expectation? When will this bill be passed by the Senate?
It has been passed by the Senate.
I mean, by the the House
the House
of Reps.
is changing in 2023, so it must be passed before 2023.
Okay.
Yes, this year is finished, so we pray that next year it will be passed.
Okay.
That's 2022. 2021 is gone.
That will be a huge triumph.
It would be a huge
triumph. Congratulations
for everybody.
Yeah.
Not just us.
Yeah, but at least for those of you who are vigorously out there in front pushing it. So congratulations first to you, but to all of us.
To all of us, because in America, I'm enjoying what they have in America. I never fought for it in America. But if you go to America today and you want to buy a drug, as soon as they see your age, they immediately give you a discount. That is what we want for every Nigerian, getting to become old.
So that is great. So in terms of next steps, when it is passed, hopefully in 2023, 2022 perhaps even, how do you see it being implemented? What is the vision for that? What are the details? Because in the end, the devil is in the detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, it is to find out, we made recommendations of where the funding will come from. If that funding, if it is religiously kept, then the money for implementing the bill will come out, that we give discount, that we pay for all these discounts and employ some people. The money will be there. Then the things coming to people's rights, like we've been trying to preach to people, like you go to the banks, give older persons access, let them have priority. They should not queue. I don't see anywhere in the banks or airlines or anywhere where it is posted, we give priority to older persons. It's never written. But maybe they have told their staff, okay, give older persons priority. So when you see people lining up and an older person comes and they ask you to come up, you will find the younger people going there to challenge you. Why are you giving her right, to come up? We have been here queuing. So it is like they're doing you a favor. But when there is that bill and the law and it's being implemented, nobody will see it as you are being doing a favor for somebody. It will become your right to be served first. They try to do it during voting, during elections, where they say, okay, we give senior citizens a queue. But I found in my own area that we were, left in a line, and we formed a very long line, which at the end of the day
defeated the purpose.
Yeah. If they were to put us in front of every queue, then it will serve its purpose. But to put all older persons on one line, it didn't make any difference at all.
And who is implementing, in terms of the recommendations in this bill? Who is implementing? Is it just government? What is the implementation like? Going to be like?
Well, we hope that the National Senior Citizens and Elders National Senior Citizen Center will also play a role in implementation of the bill, of the law. We hope that the coalition is now spread all over the country. So we hope that our members in all the various states will be doing their own advocacy in the states, maybe go to the state governments, the state governors, to make sure that the law is being implemented in their various states.
Do the state governments must have a role too? Isn't other things
course.
devolved to the state level and the LGA level and even to the community leaders
Of
themselves?
course, there's no state that does not have older persons. Everybody has there's older persons, down to the local government areas, you know. They must look, I believe that it will eventually be taken down to the grassroots.
Yeah, what we're saying is concrete statutory responsibilities that make it mandatory for state level, local government level, and community holders, whatever, to actually know they do something, and if they don't, for them to be prosecuted or taken to book for it.
Yeah, national orientation does a lot. You know, they have a far reach with all the, so they have to enlighten people. They have to know that such a law exists. They have a reach in all the 774 local governments, and the coalition is partnering with them to ensure that information gets to everybody.
I'm still pinning you down. I'm still saying yes. The orientation agency will do all of that, but we want it to be reassuring to know that statutory responsibility rests with the government organs as well, and that it's not optional.
No.
That it will be mandatory. That each of those levels, federal, state, LGA, are doing concretely something for old persons when the bill is law.
When the bill, you will look and see your own section where you are held accountable for the bill. And officers will make sure that you do what you are supposed to do.
Yeah. It's good for us, the lay people, to know, because like I keep saying, information is power.
Yes.
Then we can say to them, perhaps you're not doing, or perhaps you're not doing enough. Or we can even congratulate those who are surpassing expectations.
Yes. And the bill is something that everybody in the society should know about, so that they will know what their rights are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if their rights are being infringed, they know where to go and complain. The police, they have a complaint desk for such too. You know, anything concerning elder abuse, or it becomes an abuse at that time. If they don't do what they're supposed to do, you can go to the police. They have a desk officer for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Such an important discussion, such an important topic. Thank you so much for talking so frankly and sharing with us. Before we round up, I'm going to ask you, given your life's work, given all these your passions, given the progress you have seen, in what I would say is a relatively short time, what would be your words, your last words to our viewers?
Well, I will say to our viewers, remember that you will get old one day. Wherever you want to see yourself when you are old, do it also for those who are already there. Respect your elders. Give back to the society what you can.
You have said it all. I mean, I think there can be no greater remark, or should I even say warning, than what you have said to everybody watching us out there. You will get old someday, or you're already old. Many of us are already old. But as we discussed right at the beginning of this program, the issue of aging cuts across all age ranges, all age groups. It's a huge problem for young people. They can in no way remain detached from it. The parents, the grandparents, the old aunties and uncles and so on are theirs, you know. Their responsibilities to look after. For the rest of us, for those who haven't quite, are no longer young, so to say, they're probably battling with it right now. In fact, the fact that They're expecting old age themselves in the near future, but they're also having to cater for all these old aging relatives. And for those like us who are already old, it's a reality we live with like every day. But I like personally to say that actually, as the African always knew culturally, aging is a gift. With age comes peace, relative peace, comes a lot of wisdom and knowledge. And all we old people need is the opportunity to share those gifts and bless our society and our people. Let us all work together with the people in the forefront, like May here with us in the room today, but together as a collective humanity to make sure that every single older person in our country, in our community, can live with grace and dignity. We thank you. Thank you for having been with the Sage, and please do join us next week as we discuss again and share very important things that concern you and us. Goodbye. Thank you.